Pools and Surfaces Distributor presents our podcast series, Podcasting with Friends, with host Gamma Garcia. Creating synergy, creating the future.
Hey, welcome to today's episode, and we have a special guest today, Mr. Fernando Barragan with the Stellar Sales Alliance. Welcome, Fernando.
Thank you, Gamma. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
man. I was actually waiting for this podcast for a long time. I think you were one of my first guests, and thanks for really taking the time to come out here, and kind of share our experiences and talk about what we've done in the pool industry and things like that.
Yep.
I don't know how long ago we met. It was probably about, maybe we go back
I think like 10 days, Gamma?
No, I think it's been long.
No, I mean, I've known you. We met, I think, going back, seriously, time flies by so quickly, but I think it's probably going on close to 20 years.
Yeah, I want to say that.
I've known you,
at least.
and I've seen you progress. I've seen you grow in the industry.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you, Fernando.
It's really, really good. And,
Thanks.
thank you for having me here today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful place you've built here.
Thank
really
you.
Nice.
Thank you. And I know we're going to have some fun today. So let's get into the topic, Fernando.
Yeah.
So what are we going to talk about today, Fernando?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about waterproofing. I thought maybe that'd be a nice topic. You're in the glass industry. And the showroom that you have here is dedicated pretty much to glass tile, and our industry has changed so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And since you and I started years and years ago, we've had so many different acquisitions. Pools have gone up so much. I remember way back when I started in 1989.
That's right.
And
that was just yesterday.
It was just yesterday. It does feel like yesterday sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes.
But you still have the same energy, though, and you actually transmit that energy. So
I try. I try.
That's great.
The thing about the pool industry and what we do, right? And if you're in this type of an industry, you have to have passion and love what you do. And I love the industry. I've seen it change so much throughout a couple of decades, really.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see how people have evolved. I mean, we were the young guys.
Absolutely.
When we first started, and I've got a lot of mentors that mentored me through the years. I started in distribution, then became a manufacturer's rep.
Yes.
And now I'm blessed to have formed Stellar Sales Alliance with Jamie Pittman out of Texas, which has been great since we started back in 2020. But, now we're becoming, believe it or not, we're becoming the older guys. And we have the next generation that's coming behind us.
Behind you guys.
That we need to figure out a way to mentor. And I love that.
Right.
I love that about our industry and about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And our industry has been blessed through this whole pandemic and everything that's been going on. But it's changed a lot. I don't know if you remember, Gamma, but when you and I first started, the pool industry was really an independent distributor industry. There was a lot of independence throughout the whole United States.
Correct.
And, I've seen so many acquisitions. We've seen so many things change throughout the last few decades. And the acquisitions now have even gotten bigger, right? So our industry has totally flip-flopped from being an independent, if I can use the word mama and papa, right? That's who I started working for. I started working for Atlantic Pumping Equipment Company, and Atlantic Pumping Equipment Company was just that. It was owned by the Wallaces.
Yeah.
It was a family-owned business.
Right.
And it's awesome to work for that type of an environment, the culture. But I know it's also awesome to see how the industry has flourished, and now you've got bigger families, really, with these larger distributors. But now you've got, our industry, like I said, has gone from that independent to the investment groups. Investment groups are gobbling everything up.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 5-10 years of our career.
Right.
To see how things, evolve and change. But I love the pool industry, man. I love what I do, and I love the pool industry. I love being here with you today.
Thank you, Fernando. So, in today's topic, waterproofing.
Yeah.
What is the product that we're gonna be presenting today, Fernando? What do you want to talk about today?
There's a bunch of different waterproofing companies in our industry, and they're all very, very good. The great thing about the waterproofing topic is that waterproofing has become more prevalent, and it still has a long way to go. Our industry and the way swimming pools are being built has transitioned. It's changed because of different educational groups, like Genesis and other ones that are out there as well now. So you've got. I remember it was very, very common to see a $29.99 swimming pool, $30,000 swimming pool, way back when in the early 90s. Right, and it was very uncommon to see a $100,000 pool. Very uncommon. Now that's become more of the norm.
That's kind of like the standard.
60, 70, 80, 100 and above, you know. And you're using a lot of mixed media. You know, when we first started, it was tile and stone on the water line. Now look at this amazing assortment that you have here. It's incredible, the amount of glass tile that's being sold to these jobs. And every time they go to a job site, it's glass tile. And glass is a different animal. It's not the same thing as regular tile,
or porcelain or ceramic.
Ceramic, stones, and all that. Glass needs its own setting material. You can't use the same setting materials as before. And you've got a lot more grout joints as well.
Correct.
And the waterproofing part of it has evolved as well. Originally, waterproofing was for elevated swimming pools only to, get rid of leaks and things like that, preventing that from happening. But, I go to some of these job sites years after the pool's been built, where they've used glass tile or even regular porcelain tile and all that. And you've got this efflorescence that's coming out.
It's actually bleaching through the shell out to the surface. So it shows up right on the surface where the tile is.
And it's a natural progression of concrete. Concrete has to do what it has to do, and all of those salts that are in there and everything else, that efflorescence has to come out, especially in this heat. And glass tile is notorious because of all the grout joints to show that after a while. So, one of the things about waterproofing is protect your investment. You have this beautiful pool that you have just built for your customer that's over $100,000. You need to go ahead and find a way to protect that investment for that homeowner. So 2-3 years down the line, that beautiful glass tile looks the same as it did when you built that pool. That's really what waterproofing is about on the residential side, more than on the commercial side. On the commercial side, it serves that purpose. You're waterproofing an elevated swimming pool over a garage or anything like that, and obviously you have to protect that from leaking and structural damage in the future. But when you get to the residential side, it's more aesthetics than anything else.
Gotcha.
And I looked around when I started Stellar Sales Alliance. I started looking at different waterproofing manufacturers, and I fell in love with Crossfield. They manufacture a product called Miracote. Miracote, yeah. And one of the things that I loved about Crossfield and Miracote is that it's a complete waterproofing company.
Gotcha.
From decks to swimming pools, buildings.
So they're not only dedicated for the pool industry.
They're not only dedicated to the pool industry, and that attracted me because really they've concentrated all these decades on figuring out a way to waterproof concrete. And they've got a complete system also. Some of the manufacturers that are smaller than Miracote that are very good products are very, very limited in what they can offer. And Miracote has a complete line. They've got colloidal silicates, which is their Aqua Block XL. And the colloidal silicate is the first stage of waterproofing. And you've got to go ahead, and it's a very, very user-friendly product. It's a liquid. All you do is use a regular pump sprayer.
Okay.
You don't need anything pressure or anything like that.
Okay.
Penetrates the substrate about 4 inches or so.
Right.
It expels the salts that are in there. Crystallizes. When it crystallizes, it's going to prevent efflorescence.
So it goes into the concrete, and then I would assume that the matrix of the concrete changes once the crystallizer penetrates into it, right?
I mean, as you know, for all the years that you've been doing this, you know, concrete may look solid, but it's all full of voids, little valleys and pathways that are in there, and that Aqua Block XL gets in there, and it crystallizes all of those capillaries, all of those voids that are in there.
Right.
And that's going to protect that investment. So it densifies, it's a light densifier, cures the concrete as well, helps with that. And then it also helps the migration of efflorescence, which is huge.
Right.
Because if you stop that at its source, guess what? It's not going to migrate through the pores. Right. And it's not going to come out as an unsightly part of that beautiful job that you just completed.
Correct. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So my understanding is that the National Tile Institute actually says that whenever you do like a standard water line, you know, you're supposed to waterproof like I think 16 inches below the coping line before you install the tile. Right. That is correct?
Yep, right around there. Miracote, after you do the Aqua Block XL, they also have their 2-component Miracote product, which is their Membrane C. And Membrane C, what you do is you take a resin, you mix it with a dry compound that they have. The contractors love it. It's very, very user-friendly. It's one of the things I loved about it. Some of the other manufacturers that are out there, you know, they only sell theirs in a 5-gallon container, and you have to do measurements on the job site. And, you know, sometimes with measurements, there's errors and things like that. Miracote has made it very, very user-friendly and easy for the contractor. They offer a 2-gallon pail, 1 40-pound bag, that's 1 unit. Mix it together, and you're good to go. You can trowel it on, you can spray it on, you can roll it on. Most of the guys roll it on as well, spray. I've seen, you know, them spraying it as well. So after you add the Aqua Block XL, you mix your Miracote. Miracote Membrane C has that flexibility that you need with glass tile. Glass tile moves constantly. The shell of the swimming pool is always moving, you know, depending on where you are with the changes in ambient temperature, right? And you don't want that, or you want a product behind that that's going to move with that, and that's what Membrane C gives you. It gives you that flexibility, gives you that waterproofing that you need.
The expansion and the contraction of the concrete,
you know, all that stuff, contraction. And then the other thing that they love about it, it has, and this I thought was amazing when I saw it because I hadn't seen it before, but Membrane C has what's called color changing technology.
I was just gonna ask you that. So that's pretty cool. That's a very nice feature. You know, tell me a little bit about that. I'm kind of intrigued about.
It's I'm not exactly sure how they do it. It's kind of like the Colonel's secret recipe. But after you mix Membrane C and you apply it, it's going to be blue. It has a blue hue to it. The resin does.
So as soon as you apply it, it's blue.
It's blue.
And when it dries, it just changes color.
Right. It starts to turn gray.
So you'll know exactly. You know that it's already dry. Right?
So some of the guys love it because what happens is as soon as it turns gray, dark gray, you know that you can go ahead and give it that second coat. So I've been out to job sites where we begin early in the morning, and by the afternoon we finish with the second coat. And it's because of that. Because if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
Right?
There's no way of measuring that.
There's no way of measuring that. So you could have an area that's in the shade that's going to take a lot longer than an area that's being hit by direct sunlight. And they're going to dry or cure differently. So most of the other manufacturers will have you wait 24 hours in between coats. Membrane C, you don't have to. As soon as you see it turn dark gray. So what I tell the guys is, I tell them, listen, blue to gray, finish the same day.
That's
a little play on words.
That's a good saying, Good, man. So tell us, I mean, one of the advantages when it comes to the installation of these materials, I think I mean, the whole installation takes one day, correct? I mean, it's all one shot? Or?
No. It's still a few days process. You know, you have to make sure that your substrate is solid. You got to make sure that you remove, if you're going to do a replaster, make sure that you remove anything that's loose.
I was going to ask you that about the prep work and all that.
Prep work takes days. You know, you got to make sure all that's done. If you have any cold joints or anything like that, they have to be addressed as well. Pipe penetrations also have to be addressed. This is in a commercial application. We just did a commercial property down in the Brickell area, and that's taken us actually a couple of weeks.
Right.
Because it's a brand new pool, you know, we got to take care of the pipe penetrations and wait through that. That's a different process because it's commercial. But when you're talking about residential, yes, residential, water line, 16 inches, the same day.
The same day.
Out. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So, no, I definitely have. I mean, when I get to talk to people about that, you know, contractors, you know, I definitely recommend, you know, that they waterproof before they install, you know, their water lines, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, you saw such great, beautiful glass tile.
Exactly.
You know, this is a small step. It's very inexpensive to do, and it's going to save you callbacks.
Yeah.
As a contractor, as a builder, you want to minimize your callbacks. Every time you go back to that job site after you finish, you're losing money, right? So you want to eliminate that. That's just that extra step that's very cost effective that'll help you.
Right. And this waterproofing system, it gives you negative and positive properties as
you can go ahead and waterproof negative
procedure.
and positive.
That's great.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with the Aqua Block. Actually, the Aqua Block XL, one of the great things about it, remember I said that it helps cure concrete?
Right.
The other thing about the Aqua Block XL, and we're going to start marketing it this way, is, you know, you can use it on the bare shell, like we spoke about a few minutes ago.
Right.
Guess what it does to plaster?
What?
After. With plaster, it's going to help cure plaster. It's going to help eliminate that plaster dust as well. You know, so you don't have to go through all of this process.
Right.
You know, your water is going to have that clarity.
Right.
It's going to take all those pores and tighten them up on your plaster. So we're doing some testing with that. We know that it works.
Right.
We just want to make sure that we're able to make the contractor comfortable in using it. So yeah.
How about contractors, Fernando, that they never tried these products? I understand you guys do like on-site training.
Yeah,
how do you guys
dirty.
Yeah,
go out there.
So I like you roll up your sleeves and
I go
get
out
into
there,
the job.
I roll up my sleeves. I try to mix the mud. When they see me mixing the mud, they take the drill away from me. Right, and they do it the right way. And then I'll get out there and start rolling a part of the wall. After I get through with 4 feet, they're like, hey, we got it. And then usually they ask me for a double warranty on the little section that I did.
That's awesome, dude. That's
No, but I get out there with them because I learn. Yeah. Actually, the only way to really sell a product is to not only learn about it, you know, the way we do as reps, which is, you know, by the book and by the sheets we read and manuals and all that, but you know, contractors really the ones that have taught me every single day that I go to a job site. Yeah. No matter what product it is that I represent at Stellar Sales Alliance, I learn, and my on-the-job training is more valuable than anything else.
Of course, that's just an added value, man, for what you guys do. Yeah.
You know, they appreciate that I go out there with them, with their crew to look at it. There's always something, and if we don't know, you know, if I don't have an answer to something, I'll pick up the phone. I've got great manufacturers that are always on standby to answer any questions that contractors may have, and obviously we've got great distributors as well. Also, so contractors, you know, they've got, when it comes to a manufacturer's rep, we're that bridge between the manufacturer, the distributor, and the contractor. We're there to help in any way that we can. That's what brings value to what we do.
Absolutely.
You know? I love it.
Absolutely.
I love getting out there.
Yeah. Fernando, so yeah, you're right, man. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You know, for that huge investment, you know, when you're building a pool for the homeowner, you know, for your client, I mean, it is very important that you offer that as part of your service. You know, I mean, it's a no-brainer, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, you know, our contractors live on word of mouth, right?
Correct.
So imagine your project that I just spent over $100,000 on with you doesn't look that great in a few months.
Right.
The best word of mouth is that beautiful swimming pool that was just built.
Right.
When people come over, that's how that contractor is going to get referrals, and you want it to look as great as it can.
Right.
During or as long as you can, and that's what waterproofing does. Like you said, it protects your investment, which is great. It protects
your investment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. You know.
Yeah.
For the contractors out there that would like to know more about the on-site programs that you guys have. Is there any contact info that you want to share with us?
Yeah, they can call you, Gama.
Oh man.
No.
Why did I ask? Why did I ask that question?
No. I'm always available. The team's always available. We cover all of Florida. We do Latin America and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And I can be reached all the time at my phone number 305-215-8574. And you know how to get a hold of me.
Sure. They can contact us.
I'm here, Love to do that, so thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Fernando. So before we start wrapping up, Fernando, I just want to thank you again. From the bottom of my heart, you always being a person that I always looked up to. You've done many great things in the industry, and I have a lot of admiration for you.
Thank you.
I just want to let you know that, and you're just an asset for this industry.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
And have I got a couple more minutes before we end?
Yeah.
2 more minutes?
Yeah, 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Obviously, we're both Latinos, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right. We're both immigrants, and I'm Cuban. And you're from?
Mexicano, Mexico.
From Mexico, right?
Yes.
And both of our countries are known for something, right?
Correct.
Something, and Cuba's known for its amazing, Cuban coffee and our wonderful cigars, right? And there's a very, very special area in Mexico, Jalisco, where they manufacture. What do they make in Jalisco?
Are you talking about tequila?
Tequila.
All right.
Yeah. And one of the things that I wanted to do, Gama, is to thank you for inviting me.
Oh man, thanks.
To your podcast.
Thank you, Fernando. I appreciate
I'm honored to be here with you today, and I wanted to toast with you. Wish you the best of luck with this, also with everything that you do. You're also an inspiration to our industry. You work really, really hard, man. I've seen you work so hard, and for that. Next generation that thinks it's all just about social media and making $1 million on YouTube.
I know.
You have to have that work ethic, and you have it.
Thank you. Thank you, Fernando.
So thank you. So anyway, this right here, I've known about this tequila for quite some time.
Right.
And I brought
What's the name of it?
It's called
Number one.
All right. Number one.
I like that. Number one.
Number one, and it's spelled J-U-A-N.
J-U-A-N. That's actually my first name. Some people, they know me as Juan as well. So yeah, that's great.
So this is one of my best. This is one of my favorite parts right here.
There you go.
There you go, and we're gonna no ice. This is sipping.
That's it.
Tequila. You don't shoot it. It's sipping tequila. It's a reposado.
That's a Jalisco way. Yeah.
It's great. Neat or on the rocks.
Right.
There you go, buddy. We're gonna have it neat. Cheers, Gama. Here's to you.
Salud.
Salud.
Thank you, Fernando. It's great. Tastes great.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I never tried it before. It's good.
It's good stuff. Smells great.
Yeah.
It's got that nice caramel color.
Yeah, it does, definitely. No, it tastes great. So Fernando, oh wow. Woo! Thanks. Thank you. I think we should do another episode. I want to invite you for the next episode, and I don't know, let's just come up with a different topic. I know you have a lot of things to offer, and stay tuned because we're coming up with a second episode. Thanks again, bro.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gama.
Thank you.
Reach out, touch faith.